Hey everybody, I'm Rick the Pilot Teacher, and in this video I'm going to show you why books are such a great investment when you are becoming a pilot. May sound kind of boring, but there's a ton of books out there, and I'm going to steer you to some of the most popular books that I've used, students used, and they're the ones that I recommend. So stick around, and at the end I've got a great tip that's going to help you throughout your entire career. So I've got 5 books that I'm going to recommend that you guys get before you head off to flight school, especially if you're going to be doing Rotary. Now, any books that you can get before going to flight school is going to really help get that information ingrained into your brain, and it's going to help you learn. And the 5 books that I'm going to recommend is all based on how good these books work at passing on the information so that you can absorb it and learn it, because there is a fire hose of knowledge that you're going to have to absorb whilst you're doing your private pilot, commercial pilot, instrument, CFI, ATP, and it's just mind-blowing. And books are a great investment that you can keep your entire career. So let's have a look at number 1. So number 1 is the Rotorcraft Flying Handbook from the FAA. This is an older version. Here is the newer version that you can see on Amazon, and it is a great book. It basically breaks down all the aerodynamics, flight maneuvers, and things you're going to need to know about how a helicopter works. The FAA have done a great job of illustrations, easy to understand subjects, and it makes it so easy to understand the fundamentals of how a helicopter operates. So this book is one of the most popular ones you will see all over flight school. They also do a fixed wing version too, so if you want to go and take a look at that, if you're looking at doing your fixed wing, you can do that. But this book is everywhere, and anybody who's going to be doing a private pilot certificate, this is definitely number 1. It's going to really help get those basic fundamentals into your head of how the aircraft operates, how the aerodynamics work, how the flight maneuvers are flown, how emergencies are entered, and how to recover from those emergencies. Really, really good book, and definitely my number 1 pick. My number 2 pick kind of goes along with this first one, and it's the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge, also from the FAA. And this one is a great accompaniment, and what this one does is it talks more about the FAA structure. It talks more about airports, how instruments work, how the air traffic control system works. So a lot of general kind of rules and regulations that as a private pilot you are going to need to know to be able to operate safely in the air. Again, it's got loads of great color diagrams in there, text broken up into nice manageable pieces, everything laid out in nice easy sections that are easy to follow. And these 2 books work really good hand in hand to get you that very basic core knowledge that you're going to need as a pilot, especially for when you start doing your solo cross-country flights, because you've got to know how to operate the aircraft, especially when there's other aircraft around and you're operating around other airspace, especially if it's busy. So number 2 is the Pilot's Handbook of Aeronautical Knowledge from the FAA. Okay, book number 3 is the Helicopter Pilot's Bible, basically the Principles of Helicopter Flight by Wagtontonk. Yeah, Wagtontonk is a Kiwi, and he's been flying for decades. He's a retired Air Force pilot, and this book is on most shelves of professional pilots, chief pilots, operations manager, and there's a reason why, because it is a fantastic book. Now, this book is definitely not your first book to get as you're trying to learn about a helicopter. It's definitely a book you will need to read after the FAA book, because it takes all the aerodynamics, flight principles, emergency situations, and it goes into a far deeper level. And it's a really well explained, it's got great diagrams in it, and yeah, the reason why it's the Bible is because it is so good. Yeah, let's say I've had this one 20 years and I still refer to it very often, especially if I'm either writing stuff on my blog and I'm like, I can't exactly remember how that works, or if I want to brush up on some of the theory behind making sure that I continue to fly safe. So Principles of helicopter flight, number 3, you're definitely going to want that if you're going to be a rotary pilot. Okay, number 4 on my list is the Instrument Commercial Manual from Jefferson Sanderson. This is a big book, and actually this is probably the most expensive book that I own. I think it's about 80 or 90 bucks for the hardback, but if you are going to be going on to be a professional pilot, to going through to do your commercial certificate, your instrument certificate, the Instrument Commercial Manual is the go-to. It is incredible. It is packed with so much information that takes everything that you've learned throughout your private pilot certificate and takes it to that next level. So especially when you're looking to do your instrument flying, it looks at all the instruments in your aircraft, how they work. It looks at the instrument flying procedures. It looks at the structure of how airspace is basically built to allow IFR flight. It goes through just talking about a lot of the general aviation stuff that you're going to need to know as a commercial pilot, especially when you're going to be operating in and out of busy airspace. And it's just got everything in there. I mean, look how thick this thing is. It is crammed full of beautiful color illustrations, nice easy to read text, and you can just go through with your highlighter and just highlight the bits that are important, so that when you're going through to study, you can just go back through, find those highlighted bits. And again, there's a reason why I've still got it 20 years later. Great book. So if you're going on for your commercial pilot, instrument rating, that is your go-to book. Okay, number 5 on the list is the ASA Test Prep series. This is a series of books that is designed for you to work through to prepare you for your written examination, and also to help you with your oral examination as part of your check ride. And each book is designed specifically for your private pilot certificate, your commercial pilot, your instrument rating, your CFI, your ADP. They are just packed full of everything that you've learned in a kind of like a roundup to get you ready for your written examination. And they're a great book because what they do is they go through all the important sections and they give you little quizzes along the way. And by the time you've worked through this book, you are ready for your exam. It's a great book to just go through, highlight, make notes, just study, just get that information in. And each time you're going to go for a written examination, get this Test Prep series book. The other cool thing that they've got now is also, it's called the Test Prep Plus. And what it does is you purchase it and it gives you software so that you can go and do practice examinations. So it uses all questions that are currently in the FAA written examination for that pilot certificate. And by going through the book and then doing your practice tests over and over again, you can go through and ace that exam. And that's exactly what I did, and everybody else that I know uses to get ready for the practical written examination. And it is so easy to go through. They are so good. These are the only books that I no longer have, because it was a bit of a tradition at my flight school that when you passed your check ride for that pilot certificate, you would take your test prep, pull it apart and burn it, as you can see here. This is where me and Brock passed our CFI check rides and became flight instructors, and this is the ceremonial burning of our test preps. So it's the only book that, or the only series of books that I don't have anymore, but that kind of served their purpose. The other cool thing that ASA have done too that kind of goes along with these is they've also brought out an oral study guide. So the oral study guide helps prepare you for the oral part of your flight examination, basically your check ride. So when you sit down with the examiner, you're going to go through an oral examination first, where they're going to quiz you on all kinds of stuff for that certificate. And this book will help you study in the right areas to know what you need to know ready for when that person is sitting right in front of you and just, what's this? What's this? Show me what's this. Tell me about this. What do I need to know about this? What are you going to do if this happens? And this oral examination book helps prepare you to study you in the right areas, so that when you are sitting in front of the examiner, you are like bang, bang, bang. You are confident. And when you're confident and you know the answers, that examiner is going to just make your life so much easier. If you don't know your stuff, yeah, you're going to be sweating bullets. So these test preps from ASA are perfect for helping get you through your written examination and your oral examination as part of your check ride. So all of these books are just really handy to have. Like I say, I've got all mine here, as you can see, still 20 years later. I've put a collection together on my Amazon store of all these books, plus so many others that are really helpful if you're going to be doing other ratings or all kinds of stuff. So go check out that. I've got the link in the description below, so you can go check out those. Really good to have. I mean, books like what, 25 books? Well, apart from this one, and yeah, you've got them for your entire career. So definitely go and get them. Now, ninja tip for you, like I promised. As you're going through your career, you are going to be working for different companies, flying different aircraft. Anytime you get your hands on some training material, whether it's a flight manual, if you're going to be going up to the Jet Ranger, the A-Star, EC-120, whatever, keep hold of that, especially if it's a digital copy or even a paper copy, and just keep all your training material throughout your entire career. Like, I've got a whole list here of all the flight manuals of all different aircraft. I've got mountain training courses. I've got all different kinds of practical and theory training courses. And it's great to accumulate this stuff, because as you go through your career and you're flying different aircraft, you might even be flying in different environments, it's always good to have this training material, because you can go back and learn from it. You may not even need some of that stuff, but 10 years later you might. And like, for me, it's perfect. When I first came up to Canada, I did a mountain course. Fantastic course. And I kept my manual. 10 years later, I've been flying in the prairies where it's flat as a pan. So I've not needed my mountain course knowledge and training. And then a year or two ago, I got sent back to the mountains with the company I was with. And I was like, okay, so what did I do? I opened up my training manual, went through it, and it was just like, yes, I remember this. And it helped me relate back to the actual flying parts, and it helped to put that knowledge back into my brain. So when I went there, it was less intimidating, and I knew I was going to be flying safely. So always keep hold of any training material you get, whether it's a binder, a photocopy, digital PDFs, whatever. Just keep hold of them, keep them for your entire career, and it's going to really help you, because you never know where you're going to be flying. You never know what kind of aircraft you're going to transition onto. The company you're working for may be flying Bells, and they decide to go, you know what, I'm going to go to an A-Star. If you've already got the RFM or some other training materials, you can just get your head into it, and it's going to help you prepare to go into the aircraft and be a safe professional pilot. So there's me blabbering on about books, training materials. But if you want to become a pilot, go over to pilotteacher.com. I've got a fantastic course that I've created just for you guys to help you save money on your flight training. It's so expensive. That's why I'm doing these videos, steering you in the right way to get the right books, helping you to save money at flight school, and just giving you all the knowledge and information that I can to help get you into a flight school, to get you airborne for whether you want to do private pilot certificate for recreation, or if you want to go all the way through to get your airline transport pilot certificate. I'm here to help you get in that seat, fulfill your dream just like I did. So go check out the books in the list below. Go over to Pilot Teacher and check out the course to help you save money, and I'll see you next time.